Good afternoon. My name is Steve Koudelka, and I'm the head lacrosse coach at the University of Lynchburg. Thank you for joining us today. We have been very fortunate over the last couple of weeks of doing a coach's hour at lunch time on Tuesdays and Thursdays. We missed last Thursday, but we're back today on this gorgeous Tuesday, April 21st. And just wanted to just give you a little bit of understanding. We're going to have Coach Sinclair, Andy Sinclair today, who is the head coach at Randolph College here in Lynchburg, Division III program in the ODAC. And Andy has done a great job there. He's been there since his first season was the spring of 2012. And he'll be talking about clearing today. And we're really, really excited to have Andy here. So without further ado, Coach Sinclair, take it over. We might have lost Andy for a second, so we're bringing him in here. Sorry about the technical difficulties, but we are bringing him back to the screen, and we will have Coach Sinclair here momentarily. So we apologize for the technical difficulties, but for some reason, he is having a hard time. He was on the call for a while. We were talking beforehand, but we're just going to have to sit here and wait for a second. So bear with us. Well worth the wait. And I think he is coming on the screen right now. So there you are, Coach. You're back on. That's good news.
Back. What happened there?
I don't know. Let me. I'm going to move you. You're the host.
Okay.
And you should be ready to roll. I think Joe Hutzler can move you into the screen, and then we'll get rolling. So there you are. I think you're live. You're on.
All right.
So, there you go, buddy. You're good to go.
We good?
Yeah,
okay.
We're great. Thank you,
All right.
Andy.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Happy lunch hour. Hope everybody's doing well. I'm Andy Sinclair, head coach at Randolph College in Lynchburg, Virginia, and happy to be here this afternoon and to go over some clearing with everybody. And first, I'd like to thank everybody who's tuned in. That's means a lot. Thanks to Joe Hutzler for putting this on. Certainly, big thanks to Coach Koudelka for setting up this whole lunch hour bit during the time off we have. And also want to thank him personally for being a great coach, mentor, friend to myself and my family over the years. Pretty honored to be a part of this group on this coaching chain, and honored to be included with the other presenters that have gone before and that are going to continue to go as we do this every Tuesday, Thursday. Also want to thank my coaching staff at Randolph, present and past. Definitely want to thank my players, present and past. It's all about them, to be honest, and everything we do is to give them great experiences that they can take on with them through life. And I think what we're doing here is a great example of that. And it's been pretty cool for me to be a part of this, like I said, coaching chain, even beyond that. Some of the things I'll go over today obviously came from other people, and I think one of the really cool things of our sport still, even today, is the interconnections between all of us. We all compete, each of us that have presented against each other sometimes, more times than not. And all our guys are, they're playing for different programs, but at the same time, they're kind of learning a lot of the same things that, maybe Coach Koudelka learned with Coach Janzik when he was playing. He, brought that with him and coached me and my teammates. And, or when we were there and Coach Johnson was an assistant coach at Lynchburg, he was coached by Coach Rostan, and he brought all of those things that Coach Rostan taught him. So in a weird, cool way, this sport really is still very interconnected. And I think all of our players that we're coaching today in a capacity have that same experience through all of us. So, and I hope that continues as they come through and start coaching and whatever level it is, So, but with that, I'm going to start on clearing today. We're going to go over some clearing. I'm going to try to share my screen. Is it already shared? I think we're good. Let me know if you guys can't see this.
You bring that up, Andy, and I'll be able to tell you.
It's up. Can you see it?
No.
Let me share it here.
It's coming. It says your screen has started sharing, but we can't see any. There's no like lacrosse or anything going on it.
How about now?
It says Andy Sinclair has started screen sharing, but that's it. Oh, there we go. You're good now.
Cool. Good. All right. So let's get started here. Bear with me. This is technology, I'm learning as we go here. All right. We good still? All right. And please send questions to that link at the bottom. You might have to hit the drop down to see where you can type in a question or two. But, just want to go over some basics, in my opinion, what it's important, what I've learned over the years, what's helped our team succeed in clearing. Probably one of the most important parts of the game is going from defense to offense. You have to score goals to win ball games. So, a clear is essentially your first chance to create an offense in transition. So keys to success: speed, spacing, sticks, rules, what foundations you put in as a coach, teamwork, poise. These are all big time essentials that you need to be successful. Formation, strategies, rules, and communications. Have a plan. You want to get the ball going. You want to get up and go. And you don't want to let the defense have time to set up or ride you. So the faster you can get going, the better. But it's also imperative to have a plan and to be able to implement that with your group and make sure they know what they're supposed to do. So choose what you want to use. We usually have just one default clear with others in our back pocket in case we need it. But our defaults are number one clear. Every time we get a turnover, make a save, we're going to break out into the formation we have specified as our default and see if we can't get the thing going up the field as fast as possible. Specify a role for each of your players. It's very important. It helps them in terms of their spacing, knowing what to do quickly. We created a name or a term for each role this year, and I thought it helped us tremendously. It's the first time we'd ever done it, but it was really, really helpful, especially with our short stick midfield. Just knowing what they had to do, especially when they were tired. Who's on sides? You got to make sure that responsibility is known and clear. Very important not to turn the ball over. We'll talk more about that. Choose your communications. For example, we use communications between players like one more, straight up, big one, high and away. All these calls, 2 words, 1 word, simplistic calls kind of tell us what we want to do with the ball, what kind of pass it's going to be. So whatever you guys use, try to implement that with your clearing, and certainly allow for creativity. Let them be athletes, but you got to practice, you got to rep it, So important to not get to that during a practice period. Speed and spacing. Again, let's go. Let's get the ball out of your stick. Let's get up the field, not let the defense have time to set up. Very prevalent in today's game is a 10-man ride or a 9-man press. You want to try to get the ball moving, get to your spots, space the field correctly before they can get to their spots and trap you in a corner or dictate which side the ball is going to be on. So get quick to your areas, make quick decisions with the ball. This goes back to Little League. You know, the ball moves faster than you do. So sometimes you got to use your legs. But if you have your head up and someone open ahead of you, let's move it quick. Find the short sticks. It's typically what we're trying to do at Randolph. Get it to our middies and see if they can't, start something in transition. Spacing is so important because it stretches the defense out, the riding team. It allows your sticks to work a little better, create some flow to your clears, and think offensively. Create transition is number one. You want to try to get them and play like I remember Coach Child said something a couple weeks ago about playing in the gray area offensively when the defense is most vulnerable. This is probably one of the times every time you clear it is a great opportunity to catch them sleeping or just not prepared defensively and to see if you can get an easy one. Be aggressive, but be smart. No easy turnover. Stay on sides. Use the playing field to your advantage. It's okay to go backwards with it. And you got to see the clock. And luckily nowadays we have, big red shot clocks. And we know that once you get close to 60 seconds on that thing, you're running out of time. So, but have a high IQ, and that all helps with what you do beforehand with spacing and getting there quick. Sticks. Confident sticks are a must. Basic fundamentals. Both hands. We try to just hit home on the outside hand. Stay away from the riding defender. A lot of our guys are very comfortable with their dominant hand and just somewhat comfortable with their non-dominant. And you can tell, you'll see in some clips here coming up that that's something that kind of hinders you sometimes if you're not comfortable using both hands. So basic stick fundamentals are huge. Passing lanes, angles. The most important person on the field is the guy without the ball. And I remember Coach Starsha saying that at camps. I think I read in his book this fall. Make sure you're working off the ball for your teammates, and good passing lanes will simplify the pass required and just make life easier. Vision, confident sticks allow players to keep their heads up and see the field. So when you're not worried about your stick, you can survey what's going on in front of you and make the right decision, and off-ball spacing, stick skills, all of it collectively, keeping your head up equals good decisions, which is high IQs. Teamwork and poise. Chemistry, it's improved through repping player responsibilities at practice. Make sure you've got appropriate drills that are going to rep what clear you're going to run. Whether you're facing a 10-man, a drop back, whatever, make sure you know what's coming and just practice. Passing lanes, angles, you got to work hard again off ball for each other. Trust. It's the ability to adapt on the fly. It's not always going to go how you draw it up as a coach, but if your guys do adapt, if they can trust that their teammates are going to fulfill the role, stay on sides, be where they're supposed to be, etc., then that's huge. And staying poised will help beat the clock every time. So having a good head on your shoulders as a group and understanding that 20 seconds isn't a ton of time, but it's enough if you work together is key. So I'm going to go over 4 different schemes or formations. There are many different options, a lot like offenses. These are the ones that we've used at Randolph over the years. The first one is I kind of describe them 3 across the midline, 1 deep in the offensive half, and then down low across the goal line extended GLE. You've got your D goalie D. you'll see that a lot in the slide here, D goalie D, and that's what I'm referring to. And the second clear is 4 across. I'll go over. That's basically 4 guys across the midline. Same formation down low on the GLE, close defense, goalie, close defense. Ladder clear is another form that we've used for formation, and it's kind of opening up the middle of the field and spacing it out. D goalie D, and then 2 in the high corners, midline, and then 2 deep and spread and spaced out on the sidelines. And then 4 low is something I remember from college. I think we've used it a couple times at Randolph in my 9 years here. It's I remember Coach Koudelka putting it in when we were expecting a 10-man, and it's a little different. You take one of your close defensemen off the GLE, and you actually put 2 short sticks down there. And those guys are kind of your go-tos, and they're going to work together to beat somebody in tighter space and work together, try to draw a double and move it. But we'll go over all these with some clips. And always remember your attackmen. They got to stay active. They got to be ready to go in transition, create a break. They can also relay, communicate what's happening, 10-man, goalies out, drop back, nine-man press, whatever. Make sure they're involved. It's important. All right. So this year, I'm going to hit hard on this one first because it's fresh in my mind. Our 2020 version of 3 across, 2 deep. I think in November or December, right before the national convention, I asked my guys, like, what do we need to improve on? What do you want me to go listen to up at the convention? And one of the first things they said was, we want to be able to clear the ball better, coach. We had a hard time last year doing that. I said, okay, good deal. And I actually didn't get to see a presentation on clearing, but I watched a great presentation on writing, which ultimately helped me kind of change what we were doing with our 3 across, 1 deep for 2018 and 19. And we developed this for 2020. So we ran a zone this year as well. We committed to that early. There's a 3-3 zone. So, we kind of developed our players' roles out of this zone set and where they were located. So our goalie, obviously, in just about any clear, he's going to be the quarterback. He's got to get things going. He'll be in the cage in the middle of the field, so he'll be able to see everything and just communicate and get guys to where they're supposed to be, and really start to clear. Our 3 close defensemen out of our zone, we had a left of the goalie, a crease defenseman inside, and then someone on the right of the goalie, and it's pretty simplistic. The left went to the low corner wing area. We call it the flats. The guy to the goalie's right went to the opposite low corner flat area, and then they'll drop back and be ready to receive the ball from the goalie if it's off a save, or if they're getting the ball off the ground, they're going to start the transition, maybe use their goalie for help. The middle defenseman, who is in the crease in our zone, he's going to move straight up the field to the face-off dot or that general area. So those 3 guys knew exactly what to do every time we had a save or a turnover. The short sticks is where it got a little interesting at times, because I'm sure some of you have seen it and had it happen to you, where you got 3 guys coming to the box when we're clearing the ball, and that's one way to not clear it well. So you got to stay in the game regardless of how tired you are. So we came up with 2 terms, hero and horse, just to help the middies have a mindset that, I got to finish this out. They may have played some offense. Now they're playing defense. Now they got to clear the ball before they can sub out. They might be dead tired, but they've got to finish it. Finish the play, finish the clear. I'm the hero. The other guy's the horse. It really helped us with having these terms. And if they did decide to come off and sub while we're clearing, we could easily say, look, guys, you're the hero. You got to be the hero. Make this happen, And so the hero was the short stick that was nearest the substitution box. It didn't matter if, he was a yard closer than the horse or the other short stick. He was closest to the box. He was the hero. He was going to go to a designated spot. The horse was getting away from the box, high corner at the midfield line. And our LSM was the flyer. We termed him the flyer, and he was getting off for the fresh midi. So here's a diagram of our three across this year. And let me see if I can't use some illustrations here. But you've got your D, goalie D across. Hope you guys can see that. And then your three across here, your horse, high corner, opposite box, crease defenseman's going to the face-off X, and your heroes here in this general area. So it's not exactly three across. We wanted our hero to kind of sink in and find that gap behind the attackman if they were 2 down or 3 down, 1 down, whatever. We wanted to him to find that space in the zone and sit. And we wanted LSM to get off and have our fresh midi get up the field to stretch out the defense a little bit. And our attack, they were just staying spread and active. Let's watch a few clips here. And please, again, feel free to ask any questions as we go through these things. Again, this is our 3 across, 1 deep. Okay, what we ran this year. And as you can see right away, we're trying to get open, get out and go. All right, get up the field as quick as we can. And number 6 here is our hero. This is our LSM, subbing to the box. This guy right here is our crease defenseman. He's going dead center. I think our horse is already up here. We're going to have our D goalie D down low. You see the hero right here is just finding that space, hunkering down. Okay, they're 10 manning us right here. They're a little late to get into it, which helped us. But you can see right here, this is what we've wanted to do. Okay, we've got our short stick with the ball, getting up the field quick. We're 3 across, 1, 2, 3. All right, and we've got 1 going deep here, stretching out this riding midfielder right now. Okay, so all this hero's got to do is beat 1 attackman, be prepared for the LSM to slide over here. Okay, but he's got plenty of room to see what's going on, and he's got plenty of space to be able to make a dodge if he needs to. Also, you can see this is the defenseman, close defenseman right here in top corner of your screen that was trying to come up in 10-man. And because we cleared it so quickly, he backed off immediately, which gave us some openings. Now, one other thing I'm going to point out here. We want to create transition, and I think we would have done a better job and had a better opportunity of doing so if number 5 here, all right, would have stayed a little wider, maybe over in this area, okay? Right now, it's pretty tough to throw this ball. You know, we're hiding behind this yellow defenseman here, okay? And I think if we stayed a little bit wider, which is why it's so essential to stay spaced, use the whole width of the field here, we could have possibly thrown the ball here and started a break here because we had an open attackman. The goalie is right about here. We could have had an easy one potentially if we just would have done one thing a little bit better. You know, stayed a little wider in that on that wing right there with our fresh midi. All right, next clip here. Again, we're trying to get the ball. I think right here, 25's got the ball off the ground. You know, we're trying to get up and out as quick as possible. So this is going to be the midfielder that is furthest from the box. So he needs to be the horse. This is the closest short stick to the box. He's the hero. Here's our LSM. It looks like they're all coming to the box, doesn't it? And this is not good for us at the moment. But luckily, and I do believe our hero does come all the way off, which is no good. But luckily, I think our horse figures it out. And he's like, okay, yeah, I got to get high corner. All right. and we're able to find a passing lane right here. But as you can see at the box, you can see my cursor. We're a little confused. We got one fresh coming on here, but we're really not. There's nobody in this area because our short stick that was playing defense, I'm sure he's pretty tired, and he was trying to sub out just to catch his breath. But again, that's why he was designated the hero. He's got to stay in the game and help us clear the rock. So in this scenario, we actually do find a passing lane. We get to our spots as best we can, and we get the ball up the field and beat the 10-man. As you can see, they're scrambling to find again because they were trying to 10-man. And this is exactly what we want to do offensively, creating transition, is push the ball down the wing here. We are going to get a flyby with our short stick here, but our attackman, I don't think he liked what he saw with the 4 guys in tight here. Is really 5-on-4, 5-on-5. I would have been okay if our attackman would have hit. I'm gonna let this play. Would have hit our short stick right here. It's a great opportunity, to make this give and go. It's a nice little fly by our short stick we teach them to do. He would have been coming into a cluster of yellow defensemen, but again, it could have put some pressure on them and forced them into a bad decision. This is an example of us getting a turnover, getting the ball on the ground, and our defenseman trying to get up the field quickly and realizing the best opportunity for us is to go back with it. So what I like about this, and I'll try to walk you through it, is we do have our crease defenseman going where he's supposed to go, dead center. Our hero's doing a good job closest to the box. He's staying, trying to find a little pocket within the zone here of the riding team. This is our left defenseman with the ball right now. He's usually goalie's left in our zone, and he got the ball off the ground. He's moving it backwards. It's a good decision. And this over here is our LSM. So he's a senior, knows what's going on. He realizes the best opportunity for us right now is for him to take on that left flat area, and instead of getting to the box, you can see right here, number 8's like, okay, my area, my responsibility is being covered by Eric over here. Eric's LSM, so I'm going to try to get to the box. And we kind of adapt and do this on the fly, which is fantastic. Right here in this ride, or clear, I'm sorry, in this clear, our hero has no onside responsibility. Our high corner midi, our horse has no onside responsibility. The defenseman is going to be our onside guy, and the fresh midi has no onside responsibility. So this hero position right here, he can float back and forth. That's okay. But if he would have stayed over right about here, okay, it would have been an easier pass, better passing lane. As you can see, we're kind of passing through somebody right here. And I think it would have been a little bit easier of a pass, with less chance of getting picked off. But we get what we want. He's got to beat one attackman, which he does. And again, no onside responsibilities in the high corners right here. In the other high corner right here, it really stretches the riding middies deep and creates space for the hero to run, if that makes sense. Watch a couple more clips here. I think this is at Greensboro, and same clear. Okay, we're going to get our LSM to the box. Our heroes coming box side. Horse is going high corner. Crease defenseman is going middle, and we're going to go D goalie D with it a couple times. Find the hero and get up the field, and try to get it up as fast as possible, and see if we can't get some transition. Another clip, same clear. Spacing is key. We want to get there quickly, know where the outlets are. same idea. Getting those guys deep in the high corners really does make the defense have to go with them, which helps your low short stick, that hero position, have some space to run. Now in this scenario, okay, we've got our LSM coming to the box, our hero ready, horse is getting up to the high corner. We do have a different guy in the middle. Again, this is usually our left flat area defenseman. Just based on how the turnover occurred, he's now in the middle, which is fine. This is where dominant hands and come. Oh, sorry, let me go back. Get to that. Bear with me. Just let this play. Just watch our young short stick here. I think this is the one. He's a lefty, and he does exactly what he's supposed to do until he gets the ball on his stick. And he's checking too, which is good. Catches the ball, turns upfield. As you can see, he's got a lot of green to work with. Okay, he's got put it in his right hand. You know, beat an attackman, take on a midfielder right here. He decides to go to his comfort zone and go this way, which makes it just a little more difficult to do what we want to do. So he's coming back into the defense. We possibly almost a moving pick there. And again, you know, just a tougher passing angle, you know. Let me go back to that real quick and show you what I mean. He comes to his strength, he goes to his left hand, but if we had our horse stay a little wider, maybe position himself right here, almost on the sideline, okay? This pass would have been easier to hear than it would have been through this defenseman. Now, I don't even think the riding player here got a stick on the ball, but he certainly altered the pass, which got away from us, and luckily our attack was there to pick up the turnover. All right, this clip's going to illustrate how quickly we wanted to get out up the field and spaced. Again, we're going to go 3 across, 1 deep with the fresh. All right, here's checking back to the ball. He's got some space to run now. Here's our 3 across, 1, 2, 3. And the deep guy's making sure that he's occupying a riding player deep. And again, creating more space for our short stick to run. I like this clip too. I think it illustrates how quickly we want to get to our spots. I think our hero gets a little antsy right here, wants the ball quickly. Now this is a good clip to show because this is allowed. You know, work hard, smarter, not harder. There's no problem hitting this defenseman here. We're fine with that. You know, he's got a lot of green in front of him. That's a great look right there. Maybe start a break. Now, again, when we're clearing the ball here, the guy with the ball doesn't have onside responsibility. Our guy in the high corner over here doesn't have onside responsibility, nor does the fresh midi coming out of the box in this area. No onside responsibility. So once this ball is moved to the LSM, our hero has to be the onsides guy, or we'll be off. So let's see if number 4 remembers to do so. And he does, and it's a positive clear. So the little nuances you got to make sure you hit on at practice and preach. It's very important. The rules and where people need to go and what your role is if you're in a particular position, and that could change depending on how a turnover or a save works itself out. So the next formation I want to cover is more of a traditional 3 across, 1 deep. Some coaches call it a diamond. We used this, I think, in 2018-19, and it was somewhat successful most of the time. What we would do is we would send a little different than what we just covered, still have our D goalie D and our 3 across. We had short stick, high corner, opposite box, short stick, dead center. And one of our close defensemen was the flyer and got off for the fresh. And he'd stay wide in this corner. And we'd send our LSM deep. You might think, well, you're just inviting a 10-man. And yeah, it's easier to 10-man when you send somebody deep. But at the same time, I think you're still going to open up, if you're spaced correctly, you're going to open up a lot of just room to beat somebody one-on-one. And again, I think more importantly, you're making the defense feel a little vulnerable with somebody behind him. So even though it's a long stick and he's not maybe your best offensive threat, it worked for us in most cases. Again, we were only getting one off in this scenario. The onside responsibility were the guys in the high corners. Okay. If a defenseman carried over, then this short stick right here would have to read that and be onsides. Rule of thumb, if the ball's your side, you don't have onside responsibility if you're a midi in the high corner. If you're opposite the ball, you do. Okay, so in this scenario, this guy over here would be the onsides guy because the ball's coming up the box side. Show you a couple clips here. Okay, this is us at Sydney a couple years back. Same concepts in terms of, getting a turnover and getting to your spots. Get up the field quick. So we're moving. All right, goalie's got the ball. Here's our LSM right here. And he's just going. He's getting up the field. So we got a short stick going high corner. We got a short stick going middle. And we got our close defenseman subbing out for a fresh mid. We got D goalie D. We want to try not to have to lob it over people. So you want to have those passing angles and lanes are so important. Okay. We do a good job of communicating here. All right. And because the ball was coming up this right side, yet the midi, because of the pressure, swept inside and moved the ball dead center. And this midi is like, you know what, I'm going. And so I'm sure he said something to this midi here, which is why he's looking back, making sure. And we did a good job communicating there and making sure that we had the onside responsibility covered, the midi back. Subbing out the long pole here. All right, same clear. 3 across, 1 deep with the long pole, more of a diamond look. Again, I think we can be a little wider here defensively. You're going to notice we cut inside and we still come back box side with it. If we just put it in our left hand and come up the sideline here, I think it's an easier pass instead of passing it in our dominant hand, kind of, over our shoulder. And you'll notice here in a second, the better look would have been opposite box high corner. And this guy's wide open. I don't know why we didn't see that, but we didn't. We throw it back, one hop it. And this is where it's going to get really problematic, okay? We just lose. We just lose our responsibility. We make a mental mistake up here. And so we are offsides at this moment, which is a simple thing. And he probably knew he was open and probably was the best look, but he needs to stay here. All right. And doesn't take the officials long to figure that out, nor the other sideline. So this ended up in a turnover. All right, again, turnover, get to your spots immediately. Okay. Let's make some good passes. All right, find a short stick. Get it up the field quick. He's a little leery now, okay? Last possession, we just turned it over. So he's looking now. And look at this guy up here. He's making sure he's on sides. But again, this little delay, it's a little thing, cost us an opportunity in transition. We let that long pole, be able to square up, set his feet, and stop any kind of break by a little thing. Just not, from the time before not being on point and making sure we had our onside stuff covered. So 4 across, this was something we ran. Probably I've run this more than not over my career. I like this one. We got 2 off. When I say 2 off, we sub 2 guys and basically got 4 short sticks across. But instead of sending 1 deep, we're going to just have 4 straight across. And I'll talk about the responsibilities. There were times where we would have our middle middies go over, but this is basically how we start our formation. D goalie D, down low. All right, one of the short sticks or LSM. This is kind of illustrating getting 2 guys off the field. But if it's and if we're doing that, it's going to be a short stick over here. Our other shorty is going to be here. So essentially, this would be our horse in this area. This would be the hero position with the ride the clear we're using this year. We're going to get our LSM off for a fresh midi. First one on is going to come right down to the ball, check 2. Our second guy coming off is going to get the fresh midi on. He's going to be up high corner, okay? So responsibilities. Right away, the guys in the high corners, the clearing middies in the high corners will have onside responsibility if the ball's opposite of them, okay? So they got to know where the ball is and read it. If, let's say this defenseman has the ball, this fresh midi can go deep, all right? And this guy can start scraping, and then we'll just follow suit this way, knowing that this short stick over here has got to be on sides, okay? If the ball gets reversed or changes fields, they make the big pass over here. Now the responsibilities change. Okay, this midfielder here has got to be on sides. This guy no longer has onside responsibility, so he can roll. This guy can scrape, as can this guy. And if a defenseman carries it over, the next guy to have onside responsibility is this short stick furthest from the ball itself. So to keep our four back on the defensive side of the ball. Let me show you some clips. Well, before we get there, this is kind of illustrating just getting 1 off, which can honestly be a little simpler, easier to do, especially if you have a long pole that can handle the ball. There's no problem putting him up in the high corner here and having your 2 short stick defensive middies clear it. And one other thing, you kind of want to break the fields up into quarters, So these guys want to stay in their lanes that I'm drawing up here. You want to go north-south when you're clearing the rock. You don't want to have one of these guys come into this guy's area, because then you can get 1 LSM covering 2 guys, riding the ball. So make sure they stay north and south in their lanes when we're clearing the ball. Okay, but this again just illustrates just getting 1 defenseman off for 1 shorty on. You still got your 4 across. And let's say one other thing. If it's a drop back and you've got your attackman here, okay, and there's no point in throwing a ball to your shorties and having them run through 6 guys, you can send these 2 guys over to midline, and find that pocket in the zone right around here and just walk the ball up D goalie D. All right, so here are a couple examples. This is against Lynchburg, maybe in 2017, maybe 16. We've gotten our 1 LSM off. All right, now our close defense is coming off. We've got 3 shorties in the game, and we're waiting to get our 4th guy on, and this will be a good picture right here. Okay, so back then, obviously, we had a larger box, which was helpful in these scenarios. But as you can see, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 cross, and we're doing a pretty good job of spacing the field. D goalie D down low. Lynchburg's in a kind of a drop back ride, but one down pressing. So we had to be cognizant of that. So as the ball switches, you can see the middies in the corners, their roles change, okay? For example, 23 was going to go deep. Ball was his side. All right, defenseman threw back over to the other side. 23's back. Now you've got this midi up here deep, trying to create and draw one of these midfielders to him, which he's doing here. Okay, I do believe the ball is going to come back again. All right, and as you can see that happening, our middies anticipating far corner or high corner far side, opposite the box. I would like for 23 to be a little wider here and be anticipating as well, maybe getting up the field. We do a good job kind of staggering the two guys in the middle, and we found a nice lane. It's a tough look. It's probably a good 30-yard pass here. But we had a wide open lane and it got through, and a good opportunity to start transition. All right. Next clip, 4 across. Okay. We're getting 2 off again. Okay. Here we have a little bit of an issue. I think we've only got middies on now. So we're going to somehow we got confused at the box. You always, when you're clearing the ball, you always got to watch out for, the old coaching pick here. Got to watch out for the opposing coach. I don't know, Coach Koudelka got away with that one, but you got to watch out for that happening sometimes. But we've got our 1 off here. Number 6 is getting in. Okay, he's realizing there's only one of us down here, so I'm going to get closest to the ball, opposite box. Here comes the 4th guy in, number 11. Okay, we got D goalie D, 4 across. Onside's responsibility now belongs to the guy opposite the box. Okay, because the ball's right here, ball side. Okay, we can go deep. We need to stay wide. We can start scraping this way. He can start scraping up. And I believe we space this well and are quick enough with it that we are able to successfully clear it and start some transition. All right, next clip. Same thing. We're getting 2 guys off here. Okay, 1 and 2. All right. Short stick middies that are on, they're going to shade opposite box. Okay, one's going high corner, one's going to stay low. Read what the defense is doing. Are they dropping back? Are they pressing? A little bit of both here. So we're trying to figure this out now. Again, I think 23 is a little too tight. He could be a little wider. That would help us. And right here, I think if we scrape, let me show you with the pin. I think we got to read this a little better. If he's wider, he's going to stretch the defense, pull him wider. We might have a good passing lane over here if he stays a little wider, say where this X is. I think this defenseman could have easily made that pass and we're out. Didn't happen. So, we've got to be cognizant of this LSM here. We could have scraped this way, kind of drawing him here and maybe opening something up here. But instead, we're a little tight, which ultimately it kind of hangs us up here. And you'll see what happens. We make a good individual dodge there to beat the attackman, but we lost. We lost our contain basically on onsides, offsides. He should have stayed on because the defense came over. We are offsides, and it's an easy turnover, helping the defense out here. Can't happen. Little things, just spacing and things like that, they really add up the big situations that could help or hurt you. Ladder clear. We don't use this too often, but a traditional ladder clear is basically D goalie D across. You got two players in the high corners at the midline, and you got 2 players wide spaced out deep. Show you a diagram. Traditional ladder. I think the name came about because of, these would be the rings of a ladder here, or the steps of the ladder. Again, we don't necessarily use this too often. This illustrates, getting 2 off the field here. and you're getting one fresh deep and one fresh, high corner, probably with onside responsibility. The closest thing we had to a ladder clear, this is our version. We did this against Guilford in 2016, and we knew it was coming. They were going to ride us really hard with a 10-man. And we, I called around. I think I called Coach Charles or York. I'm like, what do you got? What are you guys doing? And he gave me a similar idea to what we're doing here, which is basically, it's a ladder, but we have a safety valve right here with our defenseman. Okay. And the other unique thing about this is we're putting a short stick in one of the flats. So we're going D goalie shorty. Okay. And we are still getting two off, and we want to send one deep and kind of one here to Reed, and maybe he can even get deep way over here and stretch him if we need to, So watch a few clips here from 2016 on this kind of version of a ladder clear. Again, key, get to your spots and get there quickly. Okay, get the ball moving. Let's get up the field and go. Okay. So as you can see, we prepped for this. We really planned, quite a bit just for this game. And what you'll see is we got one of our short sticks that was playing defense high corner. We just subbed two off, and these guys are coming on deep. Okay, this is our safety valve right here in case we do lose the ball. But this is different than what we usually do. We've got D goalie and short stick. All right, now this is one of our fastest kids we've ever had in the program. And I like his chances with all of this green in front of him. So that was another reason why we decided to go with this. And we'll watch this through. As you can see, Guilford here has just released everybody, it seemed like, but we got guys behind them, which then got their heads turned, allowed our short stick to run with space, with his head up, and be able to at least get the pressure backed off a little bit and not have them be able to trap us too much. All right, now this is off of a face-off, and I like this clip because it kind of just shows, poise, going back with the ball, playing smarter, not harder. And it takes us a while, but we decide, you know what? Yeah, we're clearing the ball now. We got to get into our clear. So here we go. We're going to get our short stick over in one of the flats. We've got our safety, number one right here. Okay, we've got two guys off. We're getting them deep. Again, we're opening the middle of the field. You can see what Guilford's trying to do. All right. This was a great ride by them. They got two poles ready to just pounce you, and then also they almost got four across themselves defensively, which, again, we knew it was coming. We knew it. I think it gave us fits the year prior. So we had, I thought, a pretty good game plan for this. We do find the short stick. We're probably low on time here. So we're trying to let the ball do the work for us. It's always nice to have first team all over that guy in your team. Like defenseman right there, help you out. Sometimes, just having good athletes is the key to this thing. But here's another example. Again, we got a short stick in the flat. Try to get him the ball as quick as possible. He's got room to run now, one to beat. He can see the pressure coming on. All right, we've got our fresh guys out of the box deep and spaced out pretty well. We get to an area where we can dodge a pole full speed, and we clear successfully. All right. I think I'm getting some questions. Maybe not. Make sure if you have any, please submit them into the Google link. Do my best to answer them. couple more clips here. Again, it's just spacing is key. This is off a dead ball. I think we have a little bit of an issue with this. We try to do too much, but watch the spacing deep too. This really kind of hangs up the guy who I would assume this year we would call this guy the hero, But look at our two guys deep here. Okay. They're almost in a line, right? And that's helping one guy, whoever it is, play two. All right. It's just not putting any pressure on some other the riding defenseman. So if this guy would have came over here, I think it would have helped us tremendously. We were a little tentative dodging this attackman right here, probably preparing for this pole coming hard. And you'll see what happens. We try to make a high and away look right here, a little short, get it picked off. I think I put this in here also because I really like this save here. Pretty awesome. But, spacing. Again, if doing this presentation and looking at these clips back, when we had trouble, it was because of the spacing. All right, so get to your spots quick, get up the field, get the ball moving. Don't let them set up. That's one of the biggest keys here. We get the ball to our short stick quickly, and we clear it with ease. So one more clear I want to go over with you is the four low, what we call four low. I forget what we called it when I was playing college, but D goalie, and instead of defense, close defenseman, you put two short sticks down, okay? The short sticks need to be box side. That certainly helps for substitution and trying to sneak somebody out the box. Maybe have a riding player slide upfield to your two short sticks and get an easy one out. But basically 3 across the midline as well. Show you a diagram what I'm talking about here. Here it is. Defenseman, goalie, and then short sticks in this flat. They want to be about 10 yards apart. All right. You want to be about 10 yards apart, and they're going to basically get the ball as quickly as they can and then work themselves up the field. So if you have 10-man ride happening, and a guy up here waiting, okay? Goalie's covering here and covering here. Okay, the objective is, draw a double team. Maybe this guy comes, plays the ball here, this guy plays the ball here, and then throw it here, and you're out. You know what I mean? Get this guy going deep. He's no onside responsibility. All right, this guy will stay on sides, and you can hopefully beat that pressure with that formation. So I like that one. Again, we don't use it too much, but it's if you have time to practice it and rep it, it's pretty slick. Some drills. Hope that you guys might find these little diagrams helpful, but this was our kind of go-to drill this spring. We were kind of light at the midfield this year in terms of numbers. So we would throw our attackmen in just to give us, more legs and the ability to rep this out a little more. But all we do is we have 2 goalies going at one time. Coach blows a whistle, the defensemen up 2 at a time. They're going to come low corners. Okay. Goalies will spot feed. You want to catch this thing moving up the field. I didn't draw it in this diagram. I should have, but we actually had our heroes. These would be replicating hero responsibilities. They would break up the field on the whistle, maybe getting an easy one from the goalie. And sometimes we would do it that way. We would have the goalie hit this breaking midi right away, and then he'd headman it to the fresh midi out the box. But for this scenario, we hit the guy in the flat, the close defenseman in the flat. And these are all, LSMs, close defense. We put them there. But once the guy here gets the ball, the midi, the hero would check 2, catch it right around here, turn it upfield, and headman it up to the teammate ahead of him. And then they just alternate lines, and we'd rep this for a good 10, 15 minutes, maybe 20 sometimes, just to get the spacing, get the cuts. drilled into their heads. Another drill we did, basically with our close defense, long stick mids. This is probably something we do while the offensive guys are shooting. But we just get 2 lines going, all right, of defensemen, 1 goalie in the cage. If you have multiple goalies and the next guy, they change the goalies would rotate every 5 reps or whatever, but goalie would break it, or, have a break call. We'd both defensemen flare out to the low corners, and then goalie would pick a direction. This is 1 ball. So let's say he throws over to this side here. Okay. As a coach, I dictate, okay, I want you guys catching it, moving forward, and then big turn and make the big one, which is, an over the top. We call it the big one. Sticks outside, working on our stick skills, offhand, on hand, etc. We would go through many different variations of stick work with basic drill here, with just guys kind of breaking out low corners. We used to call it bananaing out, but I didn't think they got deep enough, so I started to instruct them to go low corners just to get deep, away from that riding attackman. But up here, we'd work on big turns. We work on outside hands, inside hands, pull passes, just GB sometimes. A lot of stick work while the offensive guys were shooting. Another drill that we did, and I like this one a lot. We usually incorporate short sticks and long sticks. Again, this is something we do if we weren't doing footwork, one-on-ones, and the offensive guys were working on what they were doing offensively, or shooting or offense on there, but we just get them in a box. And I know there's kind of two players in each corner, but only one's going at one time, and you only have one. You can put 2 balls in, but we usually just start with 1, and the goalie is going to lead everything. He's going to throw out here. Let's say, he'll say flats and going this way, and he's going to tell this guy, this defenseman here in the flats, where to go with it next. So this would be a straight up call. That's the term we use. Goalie says straight up. All right, defenseman moves it up. All right, goalie then tells this short stick here, okay, low and away. So we'll move it low and away. The goalie is now going to echo out. So this defenseman here, going to make the big one. All right, back to this position, which now rotates in the next guy up. So these guys, there's 2 guys in each corner, and they just rotate every rep. That makes sense. Also, still looking for some questions. If you have any, let me know by filling out that form. And this is our last drill that I put on here. Really a basic one. You've got a line of defensive players in O's, and then offensive players in X's. And we call this alley rides and clears. 2 guys up, you've got to stay in the alley. Very basic. Goalie's going to start with the ball and throw it out to an offensive guy, clearing guy, and then we're just going to have this guy work on his angles, work on, core technique. Don't go for any head fakes, ball fakes. Watch his core and keep on you, turn him back. It's a great drill. It can get pretty physical and chippy, which is awesome as well. But it really teaches, good angles in terms of riding, and also certainly helps the guys with the ball, if it's a long pole or whatever, work on his ability to dodge while in an area of the field where he might need to dodge clearing the ball. So, and with that, guys, thank you very much. I appreciate everybody who's tuned in, and I hope it was helpful and seamless with the technology. I'm going to try to stop this this share here and see if I can get my face back on the screen. How are we doing with time, Coach? A little over?
We're doing great, Andy. Thank you so much. That was fantastic, and I think it was awesome just going through the different variations of clearing and the different things you can do with the ball, and in terms of your personnel and where to put them on the field and so forth and so on. So really thankful, Coach Sinclair, for putting that together. That was, like I said, that was great. And definitely, in terms of whether you're a high school coach or college coach, I think the variety of careers there was awesome. Always want to take an opportunity during, we're part of the reason we're doing this is just because of the pandemic that is surrounding us right now. And just want to thank all the folks on the front line, just keeping us safe, and hope everyone out there is safe and healthy. These are unprecedented times, as we keep on saying, but hopefully there's light at the end of the tunnel, and we can all get back to coaching and watching lacrosse and doing things like that. So hopefully this has been very helpful to those who did chime in today to pay attention. On Thursday, we'll be doing, I'm going to be doing writing, kind of countering what Coach Sinclair did today. Now go through the writing game and talk a little bit about the different variations to that and how we kind of approach it here at Lynchburg. And excited to kind of put that on the computer and work with you all and help you out a little bit if we can. So thank you, Coach Sinclair. Fantastic job. Really appreciate all you did. Thanks to Joe Hutzler and LHSN for helping us put this on, and wish everyone a very safe and healthy week. And we look forward to seeing you Thursday here at noon. All right. Have a great week. Bye-bye.